I'm your number one fan, Paul.
So, Misery, the classic 1990 film based on the Stephen King book.
Another 90s classic. Yes.
In which writer Paul is stuck in a blizzard, crashing his car and rescued, but kind of not rescued by
his
Annie
number
Wilkes,
one fan.
who turns out to slowly be a complete...
Not as nice as she comes across.
...psycho fan who wants him for herself and not to leave, and
she kind of wants to become him.
Gets overly obsessed with him, and also starts... The seams start cracking, in which she is a little bit psychotic.
Unhinged.
And he's trapped and has to try and flee the situation. And it is a special film to us. It's our film. Over the years, the more I've revisited this, the more you remind me of Annie as and I'm Paul, in a fun way. And watching it again
I'm his number one fan.
At the cinema, I really felt that.
Did I do good? Did I, Paul?
You're always trying to please me, and but then you've got that double-edged.
Yeah, but don't upset me.
You've got that double-edged sword, which is like the passive aggressiveness of, oh, I'll go and get that for you. Is there anything else you want? You know, I'll bring the whole store back if you want, which is obviously quite, you know, she's not really that happy, but it's like a bit of sweet.
I'm not that bad.
Sort of.
I do have a temper.
But we went and saw this at Cinema in the Woods, which was an experience in itself. Amazing cinema, 1920s retro cinema, where you get...
This was film number 2 in my film weekend for my birthday.
Yeah, same day. So after Hocus Pocus at the Savoy Cinema, in the evening, we went over to Cinema in the Woods in Lincolnshire.
Quite literally, in the middle of nowhere, in the woods.
And the film has an intermission halfway through, in which the Compton organ rises into the middle of the stage.
It just appeared. Intermission happens. This thing just rises up from the stage and he's playing.
He blasts some classical silent era style music of cinema, and then
a disco ball went.
Yeah, it has a whole environment. Then that goes down. He's applauded, and the film continues for part 2. So it was a very
it's an experience.
It's a memorable and unique way of watching the film. I've seen the film a lot in my younger days. I remember when it came out, and it's 35 years old now.
It's the third time I've seen this film.
It's an amazing film, though. As you said when we were talking about it afterwards, the tension in this film. So through editing and a pretty deep, intense soundtrack with some cool shots as well in the cinematography front, with some amazing performances from the cast, which is well directed.
Those two are incredible.
It does create some really atmospheric, tense moments where...
And you do feel stuck in the room with Paul. You feel stuck in there waiting for Annie to come
You
back.
feel his pain. James Caan's acting in this, where you feel his pain like massively, where he's recovering and
so he's had broken legs, dislocated shoulder, head injury, everything from the car accident.
Yeah, and Kathy Bates is incredible.
She's
in this.
Terrifyingly good. All sweet and innocent until she's not.
And yeah, like the pain he's put through and how he sells it, and tense moments where she's leaving the house and he's trying to escape, see what he can do, or get help or anything like that.
Phone or something.
The intercutting between him and her coming back, and him panicking and running out of time, but being injured and incapacitated and trying to crawl, and the effects, like just the special effects where it's subtle, where he's recovering his injuries. And obviously there's the infamous scene where she smacks him with a hammer on his ankles, hobbles him, which is quite intense. And as always with some of these special screenings, there are obviously people that are probably experiencing it for the first time, because a lot of people jumped at the end of a not massively big jump scare, but it made them jump. Yeah. So it is a horror film, but it is also quite a strong drama. It's a drama film at heart with a horror element. And I found that, knowing Stephen King's sort of history and story, which is quite open about which he speaks, this film obviously is a bit meta to him and echoes him a lot. Being based on a writer who is having a struggle with his career, and a series of books with a character called Misery that he's writing, which he's kind of like fell out of love with and wants to do his own new thing. He feels like a sellout, and that he's just doing a franchise. I know that Stephen King's had his battles, and when he literally mentions that when Annie's like reciting his past to himself, going, "You did a book you didn't believe and threw it away, and it was retrieved." Well, that's Carrie. He wrote Carrie and threw it in the bin, and
it was his wife that picked it up.
His partner salvaged it out the bin and sent it off, and it got to the stage it was at. Which so that whole story there is definitely based on his. That's definitely based on the incident with Carrie. So I think there is a bit of Stephen King himself in the story, but also obviously reflected into the film. As Stephen King adaptations go, this is a good one because they can be hit and miss. I like a lot of horror films that are based on Stephen King's works, but there are some average ones and like questionable ones. I think this is one of the stronger adaptations of his work. It can be hard to adapt a book as well, and it's a simple plot and a simple location and premise, so the film could fall into a boring trap. I mean, it would be probably a better read than putting it onto screen, but I think they did an amazing job, and it isn't boring, and it does, because of the performances, it keeps you very hooked, and it's edited in a way where it keeps you quite gripped, and you're quite nervous and worried for Paul's character, because she's getting more and more unhinged as the film goes on, and
she gets less and less patient with him.
You're seeing the dark side slip and
because she loves him.
You're fed a little bit of information to just show how dark her rabbit hole goes, and actually she's more dangerous than it at first appeared. You knew she was dodgy going on, but you realise that she's capable of a lot more as well. It's a massive
classic Stephen King dark territory.
It's a massively highly recommended film from me. You said to me, well, do you want to say some stuff? Because I know you were saying to me it was a near masterpiece.
It is, to me, it is close to being a masterpiece, because the soundtrack is very ominous. The tension is palpable. The anxiety you have watching this, you want Paul to get away from her. But she has this way of continuously drawing you in with her niceness, and she's very sweet, but then she's completely unhinged. She's 0 to 10 over the smallest thing, and it's the way it's edited and the way it's directed, the way everything comes together is just it's such a visual feast, considering you spend most of the time in this one location, mostly in this one room as well. But is it James Caan?
Yeah, James.
His acting is so good that you can see every emotion on his face and feel everything that he's feeling whilst he's doing it. And I just think it's really incredible. And Annie Wilkes is such a insanely terrifying character, because she looks like she wouldn't hurt a fly. She says in there, "I wouldn't hurt a fly," but it's completely the opposite. She's quite a deranged, dark, nasty piece of work.
Yeah, and I do highly recommend this film. I will say it does build up to a good climax as well. I'm
sorry, I'll just add in there, Buster and his wife were also a little bit of
I was
comic
getting to that. I was about to say that
you get a little bit of...
The climax is really strong and good. So you are rewarded going on this journey. And I was saying that there is a strange, fun little light-hearted subplot of the local sheriff and his wife, who's
Buster,
deputy.
Yeah.
And but that's quite well balanced, so you have really long tense scenes, and then it is quite well...
Buster's trying to piece the mystery together of the missing author, and he's very smart but also quite funny.
It's quite well edited, and it's...
He's always having a laugh with his wife, who's also his assistant.
The story's quite well told, with it breaking up just the right amount of a little bit of relaxed lightheartedness just to throw you back into a tense heavy scene. So
it gives it a nice pace.
The screenplay's been adapted well, it's edited together well, and I think it's very well directed. And I think it isn't far off of being a little mini masterpiece, that film. So I highly recommend Misery. And what am I? What are you to me?
Annie Wilkes, apparently I'm your number one fan.
So,
I'm his number one fan.